Alright, everybody, we are back. This is Timothy with Jank Diver Gaming, playing the last of my Roto matches. There might be one more after this. The lost match with Lucas we might replay for the heck of it, just so that you can see his deck. We are playing against Nick here, quick shot. He's got a green-white tokens deck, and it actually does some tokeny stuff. I think of all the decks, this might be the one that gives me the most time to set up because he's not super high on interaction. He's got like Seal Away, which we can play around Banish and Light and Voracious Hydra. But outside of that, there's not a lot that kills us. It is worth noting Shalai shuts off things like Judith and Blood Artist. It actually makes you target yourself. So we've got to watch out for that one, but we might have time to set up here. Unfortunately, we're going to give him time to set up as well, and he could potentially just power out a really big board. Good news for us, of course, is that he doesn't have a lot of ways to interrupt what we're doing. So we'll see how it goes, and I wish Nick the best of luck here. I am going to be on the play. I have a no red hand. I have the green mana, of course. I think I have to mulligan this. Just no red means I might not be casting any spells. Unless I really want to get greedy here, but I'm going to mulligan this into a lot of lands. Reassembling Skeleton into Plague Crafter, I guess, is okay. I'm going to put Mountain on the bottom here. And we'll lead off with the Blood Crypt. It looks like Nick also took a mulligan, which I guess is pretty good for me. He has Hushbringer in his deck, which stops a lot of what my deck wants to be doing. So he's got interaction. We'll have to keep our key removal spells for things that are either going to kill us or interrupt what we're doing. Blood Artist is nice. I still kind of want to go Reassembling Skeleton first here, so that I can sack it to Plague Crafter if need be. Yeah, I think I'm going to lead off with the Skeleton. His 2-drops. Hushbringer would be the worst. Scavenging Ooze, also relevant against me. I guess most of them are pretty relevant against me. Foretell. What do we have to foretell here? I know he's got a Starnheim Unleashed. Yeah, we have Starnheim Unleashed, which on turn 5 would be the worst case scenario, and that's it in the main board. Angrath's Rampage, huh? I think this is a good turn to get the Blood Artist down. That way next turn Croxa gets some value off of it. Gonna go ahead and jam. Play one Bloody Boy and pass the turn. Could just jam Starnheim Unleashed right now to make a 4/4, in which case I've got answers to it. But I have to get ahead a little bit here while he's still setting up. Being able to interrupt whatever play comes down this turn seems kind of important. I think if he plays a creature here, I should just, like, if he just taps out for a 3-drop, I should Angrath's Rampage the creature away. That way if he plays Shalai next turn, I can play Crafter away Shalai. It looks like he's debating whether or not to just make this Angel, and he does in fact make the Angel. So I'm going to go Angrath's Rampage. Chandra's a nice one too. Chandra is a nice one. There's still an argument for just going Plague Crafter here. Gets another body on board. I should just Angrath's Rampage that. And then Plague Crafter next turn. Impactful 4-drops. Feldar Retreat would not be impactful. Naeth could come down next turn, and then Shalai would be the worst case scenario, because that does not get Angrath's Rampage. I can't target him. So I think I should just go Angrath's Rampage. Have you sack a creature, attack for 1. And Blood Artist here does 1. I should not have attacked with Blood Artist. That was just kind of me being hasty because he could technically cast Seal Away. He also has a bunch of X spells here, so like Voracious Hydra would be very relevant. Stone Coil Serpent. Oh, Hydra's the worst case scenario. It's going to kill the Blood Artist. Probably just going to Plague Crafter away this Hydra. And attack for 1. Fabled Passage is okay. That's going to go get black mana. I assume it's going to go get black mana. We don't actually have to make that decision now. Croxa could be really good this game as well. I no longer have a Blood Artist. It's worth noting that Chandra can, in fact, flash back the Angrath's Rampage, so we'll keep that in mind. I'm going to go Plague Crafter here and not just sacrifice Skeleton. Maybe I could have a chump attack there, but he knows my deck list. I don't really have a lot of ways to punish him for doing that. The Voracious Hydra being one of the only ways to actually kill my Blood Artist is bad. Stonecoil Serpent's pretty good. So drawing a land here would be nice so I can go Chandra. So I don't want to sack because I wouldn't mind drawing a land. Okay, so I can... Black, white... I can't do both these things. I want to get the Cruel Celebrant down, but I can't actually do the Kroxa, so I think I'm going to go Cruel Celebrant and then just get back Skeleton, which means Fabled Passage needs to fetch black. Black, white, red, green. Yeah, the green mana probably just making my deck look pretty terrible. Could also zero this, but he has enough ways to put counters on Stonecoil that I don't think that's actually going to stick around too much. Let's go ahead and get Cruel Celebrant down. And then we're passing the turn here with the Reassembling Skeleton next turn. Felidar Retreat, okay. Probably into land, make a token would be my guess. Alright, look at that. That land does insulate him. Stonecoil attacking, I think, would be a bad idea. Okay. Stonecoil attacks. And passes the turn. Anything he can do for a single green mana? No. Terramorphic, huh? Terramorphic was not the land we really needed there, necessarily. Some argument for just going for the Chandra here. Getting it on the board. And then having the Angrass Rampage next turn, which starts to look a little worse. I think I am going to attack Plague Crafter into this Felidar because it gets Kroxa a little bit closer. I still need to draw an additional red. This Terramorphic's going to get red mana for sure. We're going to play that. I can attack pretty freely with these two. And if Felidar wants to trade for Plague Crafter, I think that's okay. And then we can play Kroxa. Just keep up this Skeleton. There's a decent chance he doesn't even block this Plague Crafter. But there's also a decent chance he does. Cruel Celebrant does not target. Alright, let's go ahead and Kroxa. I should have tapped differently in case Reassembling Skeleton dies. I want to be able to bring back this Skeleton, but we'll see if the Skeleton even dies here. I guess Crawling Barrens is something I have to watch out for. He discarded Seal Away, which means his hand's pretty lit, but we kind of already knew that. Lands are also relevant for him. Stonecoil has protection from multicolored. I guess he could go Scavenging Ooze here. Scavenging Ooze and just eating my graveyard would be pretty good for him. I'll take my 4 down to 16. These Blood Artists keeping my life total pretty healthy. Doesn't feel like he has a land drop, but might have a land drop. Mikaeus. So we got a big Mikaeus, 4/4 Mikaeus. Let's go ahead and get our mountain here. And that does put us up to Kroxa mana. So I could stockpile plus Chandra, or I could just cast Kroxa and get that on board. What can he do about a Kroxa? He can banish in light, obviously. I feel like going for Kroxa this turn is pretty nice. Stonecoil Serpent can attack through it and block it pretty easily, but it does get another card out of his hand while he's starving for mana. He only has like one real way to get rid of it. And it does threaten him a little bit. This is a good play too, I think. But I'm going to go for the Croxa here, especially since he could draw like a Scavenging Ooze or something like that. It gets rid of the Ingress Rampage, so I no longer have the Chandra plan, but I think that's okay. Let's go ahead and go Croxa here. I missed one. Sorry, Blood Artist. Alright, discard your card, which he's probably not taking 3 because it's probably not a land. Discarded Wildborn Preserver. It's probably okay. Preserver is not anything spectacular here. So I don't think Croxa really gets to attack very much. I might just attack it and let it die, right? Lurrus. Lurrus into Wildborn Preserver. Wildborn Preserver. Okay, that's pretty good. Scavenging Ooze from hand. Huh, that's interesting because that actually lets me attack with Croxa here. I don't know that I actually want to attack with Croxa. So, Lurrus... So, Lurrus can cast Voracious Hydra, but you can't pay more than 2 mana for it, so we're not worried about this. That just casts Wildborn Preserver, and we can avoid giving him anything to seal away here. So, I think we're just going to go for the Chandra plus the Hidden Stockpile, and just start getting value off of that while I have this Cruel Celebrant available. And he's going to try to go big here, obviously. And Stonecoil Serpent might just kill this Chandra next turn. He's got a lot of incidental life gain as well, which matters quite a bit. Actually, now that I think about it, that's pretty bad. I can't attack with those tokens. This doesn't trigger unless I've lost a creature. It's actually really awkward. I'm still going to make the tokens because it deals 2 damage to him regardless. But if I attack, he just gains life off the Lurrus. He would gain 3. I'm wondering if I play Dread Wanderer this turn to be able to block Stonecoil Serpent. It's going to go up to 5/5 though. That's just silly. We're not doing that. Alright. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control it. Unfortunate. I guess I could attack with Croxa here. He just blocks with Stonecoil Serpent. I didn't realize Chandra would not give me my Hidden Stockpile trigger. I can get it by attacking with these. Let's go ahead and attack with these tokens. He's going to gain more life than he actually loses, but I get to keep the extra 1/1 on board from the stockpile. So he's going to go up to 16 here, and then he's going to lose the 2 back, so he'll be at 11. Oh, yeah, he can gain an extra life there, sure. But I think getting this token's important. His creatures are getting bigger than I can deal damage to, that's for sure. Thankfully, his Lurrus targets aren't anything spectacular here. I do need a sack outlet. A sack outlet would be amazing. I assume Chandra's going to die. This Lurrus is going to start gaining some life too. Scavenging Ooze has nothing in my graveyard, but it can eat his own creatures if he needed to gain life, like last minute or anything like that. I think he's pretty far ahead. Bala Ged Recovery. Okay, so he's getting a little greedy here. That's a little greedy. Let's see if he attacks with Stonecoil. Remember, Stonecoil... Oh, he did not attack with Stonecoil. That's really good for me. Alright, so I can play out my hand and have a Hidden Stockpile trigger up, which is really good for me, and then he's going to try to outpace me with the Angels, it looks like. So we go... Whoa, Strida. The fact that he didn't attack Chandra with the Stonecoil Serpent is really interesting, because it tramples and it has pro multicolor, so I couldn't have even stopped him from killing Chandra if he wanted to. I will make some tokens. I'm going to attack with the tokens, of course. I can deny his life gain here. Could also deal 3 at any point with Kroxa just by attacking with it. I wonder how close I am to actually killing him. Hold on a minute. Stop attacking. So if I attack with Kroxa, that puts him down to 12. And then I sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put him down to 6, 7, 8, 9. I can almost kill him, but not quite. So these are just going to chump attack here. I assume Loris is going to block 1, and sure, Skoos blocks 1. Alright, let's just sack him. Dragon for 1 and Scry. Gutter Bones to the bottom. I don't think I need another recursive creature. Sack this. Scry. I think if you just go Starnheim Unleash next turn, then I'm doing pretty good. That's combat. No damage dealt. I'll play Dread Wanderer, and I will make a servo on my end step. And now I actually like that I can block Loris and sack a creature to prevent any life gain on his side. So I think I'm doing pretty good here. Starnheim Unleashed isn't going to do it. Does mean he does not take the 3 damage. He also didn't activate Mikaeus. Perhaps on accident, not sure. I think he might have forgotten that he could just kill Chandra last turn, but Balagad Recovery for Starnheim Unleashed didn't seem like a game-winning play. I mean, it's not over yet, right? But do have a lot going on. Alright, so you got some angels. Oh, and he played the lands, so put a counter on everything. Putting a counter is just better than making the token here. Okay, you made the token. I guess it's not necessarily better. He still didn't attack. Okay, I'm gonna untap, and I think I can engineer a situation where he's dead this turn. So we make the tokens. Scavenging Ooze can gain a life, so let's assume he's at 14. And let's attack with Kroxa, that puts him down to 11. Okay, and then we sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures. Puts him down to 3. On end step, we make another token. Sack that, put him down to 2. Sack this, put him down to 1. And then we can bring back Skeleton to sack again. So one more time. He goes up to 14 with Scavenging Ooze. I attack with Kroxa, sack it before damage. That puts him down to... he's at 14. He goes down to 10. And then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring this back 1. And then, yeah. Alright, that should do it. So Croaks is the only attack here. None of the other attacks matter. Sure, you can block. It's a good block. We'll put that first, and we will just sacrifice Kroxa. Blood for Bones is pretty bad. Okay, out of combat. And then we go to the end step, trigger there. Mikaeus, sure. And I can get him regardless of whether he uses Skoos or not on this Croak, so it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to start sacking. Go. Village raids to the bottom. And maybe I miscalculated something somewhere, but I'm pretty sure I've got this. The fact that I can bring back Reset one skeleton multiple times is very nice. Sack. Alright, figured it out, I think a very pivotal moment for that match was him not killing Chandra with the Stone Coil Serpent. He might have forgotten that the protection from multicolored would mean that I couldn't really effectively block it. Kroxa can't block Stone Coil Serpent, and then Chandra just getting the extra value from the Cruel Celebrant. Our deck did exactly what it wanted to do. A Blood Artist, a Sack Outlet, and multiple tokens. And this is what I was talking about, where he can make giant creatures, but we can get ahead of him a little bit. He did mulligan, I mulliganed as well. Command the Dread Horde. He's got a bunch of token makers. Command the Dread Horde's okay. I like the Dread Horde Invasion because it just gives me bodies to sack, which I kind of need. Don't like the Coco as much here. I don't really like Stitcher Supplier, given that he has Scavenging Ooze. Pillar of Flame seems pretty bad because a lot of his creatures are just going to get bigger than 2/2. Legion Warboss is okay, but pretty bad against lifelink creatures. Let's look at his sideboard real quick. He has Legion's Landin. He can go pretty aggro here. Krell Harpooner is not really a huge consideration. Danitha I could see coming in. Reclamation Sage is almost certainly coming in against me. Conclave Tribunal should be in his main board for sure. Wouldn't be surprised if that came in. Gem Razor. Alright, so he's going to have answers to artifacts and enchantments. So we will play accordingly, I suppose. Which means I want to go pretty hard. I should play the March of the Multitudes that I sniped from him. But that would be kind of rude. We're not going to do that. March of the Multitudes would be good here, though, I think, just to make a bunch of blockers, assuming I could cast it. Kind of like Command the Dread Horde, but if I get, like, Skoozed or something, it's not even that good. God Eternal Bantu might be decent. This is 42 cards. This is a matchup where Priest is decent. And Corvold seems actually pretty good in this matchup as well, when he's not going to kill it every single time. The Blood for Bones, Call of the Death Dweller are probably coming out again. Same reasons as before, but also he has Graveyard Hate. And then let me look at artifacts and enchantments. Are there things I really want to lose? I mean, I could see, like, boarding out Bastion and not bringing in Dread Horde Invasion. I have Hidden Stockpile as well, so I'm giving him quite a few targets for that. Collected Company seems like it could be okay here. He said, I better be siding in that March of the Multitudes. This would be the matchup where I want it, if there's a matchup where I want it, but I think my colors are a little too wonky. I'm tempted to take out, like, Hidden Stockpile and not bring in Dread Horde Invasion, but those cards are very good. He has at least 3 or 4 ways to get rid of enchantments. Might take out the Village Raids again. Okay, I think that's gonna be what we do. Just go heavy on creatures and look to do the same thing, but we're gonna need the actual Blood Artist creatures. We can't rely on, like, the Bastion and stuff like that. Let's try it out. He probably boarded in Naturalizes and Conclave Tribunal. I'm not sure what else really changes the matchup. He's already got cards that are pretty good against me. No red mana. We do have the Collected Company 1-drop into Blood Artist as well. I'm going to keep this. The Collected Company could be good, and we could just spike a Mountain. Yahenni's also pretty decent here. Let's go with the 1-drop. And see what he's got going on 2. Remember, again, Blood Artist, horrendous against Shalai, because you have to target yourself. Ooh, Luminarch Aspirant. All right, we're getting pretty big here fast. There's no way that blocks. And we'll play a Blood Artist and ship the turn. So we're going to be racing from the get-go here. I do get to play Warboss next turn. Hopefully he doesn't play Lurrus. Could also play Yahenni. No bucks. This is definitely a card that can sweep a game. History of Benalia. You got it. Do I go War Boss here, or do I go Yahenni here? Yahenni can't really attack unless I'm sacrificing something to it. I kind of like going Yahenni and then having Collected Company next turn. I wonder if he'll block if I attack. Probably not. Look, I could cast March of the Multitudes next turn. Well, I'm committed to playing Yahenni now. I'm going to attack here. If he doesn't block, I play Yahenni and use it on defense. I don't think he'll block because it makes his history worse on Chapter 3. He's definitely got a beatdown start, for sure. If he plays Shalai here, the game's pretty much over because Blood Artist. Banish and Light on Yahenni. Okay. It's actually not the worst thing in the world to happen. I'm going to take 6 damage, but I would rather that happen than Shillelagh. No blocks. So this is going to be a Coco pass turn. Keeping everything up. That happens. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage coming in. Probably dead. He had a very fast start here. Might have a way to pump his board, who knows. Mirari's Wake. That's pretty strong. Okay, resolve that. Resolve this. And let's see how good Coco is. Kroxa Celebrant. Actually, pretty bad. Kroxa doesn't block. Alright, so I go to 12, and he's attacking me for more than 12. Actually deal a lot of damage here. I went to 13, so I could actually block here and take 10, go down to 3, then go back up to 5. And that's what I'm going to do. I will target you. Is that 9? Corvold, huh? Might have to block with these Blood Artists. I'm going to just play Corvold here. He has Mirari's Wake. Corvold could set me up to actually win next turn, but these are probably blocking, right? 1 card in hand. Can't bring back Kroxa. Could play War Boss and attack for 1. And then War Boss plus another creature blocks. I might just play Corvold. Go down to 3. Going down to 3 does mean I have to block with everything. Judy? What if I play Judith? So if I play Judith and block with everything, I deal 9 damage, right? Because this triggers 3 times, this triggers 3 times, this triggers 3 times. I think that might be my best bet. Yeah, this is 9 damage if he decides to attack all in. I don't know what he has here. He has Finale. Or, I'm sorry, he has Mirari's Wake and 2 cards in hand, neither of which seem to be lands, so... All 3 of my creatures have to die at the same time for this to be 9 damage, for what it's worth. Because if I had, like, a sack outlet here, I can only sack 1 at a time, and then once one of them's gone, the rest don't trigger. So I need him to just, like, attack with everything. Or even just attack with 2 creatures. And obviously a lot of things go wrong here. Like, a lot of things. Voracious Hydra, for example, would be a problem. Naeth. Whenever one or more creatures you control fights or becomes blocked, draw a card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, double a creature's power until end of turn. It must be blocked if able. It's his last card, like Conclave Tribunal or something like that. Guess what could he have on 3 mana? Let's see what the attack looks like first. These don't trample. On 3 mana, Wildborn Preserver, Seal Away, Reclamation Sage. I don't think there's that much here. What happened? What did I miss? This is huge. Oh, he paid mana. So this can assign all of the damage to one creature, right? Well, I have to block both of them. Four, five, six. Must be blocked if able. Alright, let's assume I do this. He takes 6 down to 3. I mean, I'm going to put the other block in there because if he kills all of them, I die. Or he dies. And I should actually block like this, because that kills the Luminarch Aspirant too, which is another Blood Artist trigger. So let's assume he only kills 2 creatures. He's going to take 6, 7 down to 2. Can I deal 2 to him next turn? Legion Warboss. Doesn't necessarily do it. I'm wondering if there's a creature I could save. Like if I do this. And he takes 6. And then I play Warboss. I attack with Warboss. Nah, I think I gotta hope that he just messes up and lets all my creatures die. Alright. All of them in. Draw a card. Oh, no, he killed all my creatures. So now he dies, right? That should do it. Alright, good game, Nick, good game. We did the thing our deck wanted to do, and you can see, I don't think we attacked a single time to win that game. We just Blood Artist out. So let me see if I can grab Nick and have him talk about his deck, because he's got a more unique deck than what we've seen so far.
Blah. I really screwed up that last little piece.
Yeah.
You know what's fun?
What's up?
You know what I drew off of that?
What?
Questing Beast.
Oh, Questing Beast, creature I can't block. Nice. I think you can assign all the damage to one of my blockers there and not kill all 3 of them at the same time.
Oh, I think I have to turn on full control for that to work.
Yeah, I think you have to go in your settings and like turn off the auto assign damage or something like that. But I think if you kill all 3 of my creatures, you die there. But I think you could have made it so one of them survived, and then I have to like get lucky on my draw step or whatever. But
yeah, I clicked on either I clicked on something wrong or I misinterpreted what was in the board state, because I thought attacking with my creature wouldn't trigger an extra trigger, and there's another trigger. I don't know where it came from. I counted it as 8 if one of my things didn't die.
Well, so
I messed up math somewhere.
So if all 3 of my creatures die simultaneously, then all of them see each other. So Blood Artist sees 3 creatures die, Cruel Celebrant sees 3 creatures die, and Judith triggers off herself when she dies. So
yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I read another rather than a non-token.
Yeah. No, it's exactly 9 if all 3 of them die at literally the same time, and then obviously if your Luminarch Aspirant dies, that's an extra point off the Blood Artist. You actually have like a lot of cards that are really good against me. Like Hushbringer might be my nightmare card. Shalai shuts down Blood Artist, and then you've got just like this random main deck Scavenging Ooze. But I just wanted to give you a second to talk about your deck if you want to, because you have green white, like you're basically green white tokens, and that's like
Token.
a lot different than a lot of the decks that other people are playing. I guess you're kind of like token adjacent. You're just like making big boards.
Right. Yeah. The I have like 6 or 7 antheming effects in the deck, main board, between the different various other things. I got Mirari's Wake, which is just power of a card on its own.
Hmm.
The draw spell, what is that called? The Ixalan thing, binding, not binding,
Uh,
Gateway or something like that.
Oh, the Immortal Sun.
Mortal Sun. Yeah, that's the one.
Yes. This one. I'm looking at your deck list right now. I have it pulled up. I'm like, what? Yeah, the Immortal Sun.
I can't remember the cards' names. Marqueus is an anthem. Feldor Retreat's an anthem. I didn't end up running a Benalis Marshal because I didn't want to skew my mana base that much white.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I have a bunch of X spells in there as well, just to oh yeah, Tristana is another anthem, and a bunch of X spells to either generate some tokens, to take advantage of it, or just take advantage of my mana on any phase. So like, a turn 3 Stonecoil Serpent is actually not bad a lot of times.
No, not at all. I think in game 1, Stonecoil Serpent could have taken out Chandra at some point, and I think Chandra was the only reason I won that game.
Oh yeah, that definitely helped. I don't think I saw an opening to attack through everything.
Well, protection from multicolor, so I couldn't block with Kroxa. Kroxa was sitting on board that turn, and
No.
I just had a
I
couple
think I was
of
actually keeping
1/1s.
it up. The block your Kroxa from attacking.
Yeah, I figured as much, but Chandra definitely just like pumped out tokens there and got me all the extra triggers I needed. I was gonna say something else, but I don't even remember what it was at this point. I think this might be like the most 50-50 matchup that I've had out of everybody that I've played, because neither of us have a lot of removal. Like, I have 2 removal spells in my deck, and you have like Banish and Light Seal Away as your only main deck removal, I guess, plus Hydra. So it's
In
like
Hydra, yeah.
we both get to kind of set up on each other, and whoever gets to do their thing first probably wins. Like, you had an extremely aggressive start that second game, but
Oh yeah.
I drew all over your Blood Artist, so
I tried it the first time too. That's why I went with just single angel turn 3.
Mhm.
Because like I saw your decks, I was light on removal. I was like, all right, well if he can't answer this, then this is just going to be like half his life points or all of his life points really fast.
Right. Yeah, I got a little lucky with my edicts lining up against you, the Playcrafter and the Ingress Rampage.
Oh yeah, you got them back to back. I was like, well, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, I fired them off because like you can just make some tokens, and then my edicts just kind of don't do anything. So I was like, I'm just, as soon as he plays a single creature, I've got to edict him and just attack for like 1 or 2 or whatever and get that chip damage in.
Yeah.
But
And every time I play your version of the deck, I always never draw my drainers and my token generators in the right order.
It's been a sweat, I'm not gonna lie. I've played all of my matches at this point, and like things really do have to come together. You have to spend so many picks on the sack outlets plus the token generation that you don't really get removal, and then you also have to pick up like the mana fix in to make it work, so you end up not getting a lot of picks for good removal or for like card advantage. So my deck just kind of draws what it draws and tries to make it work. So I don't know. I think I ended up going like 5-4 or 6-3 or something like that. But it struggled in a lot of the matchups, and there's just no way I could beat the like top end blue decks. Once they get to the late game, I just don't have a way to stop them from doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I usually lose to the blue either way. Doesn't matter what I'm doing.
Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, thanks for the games, man. I just figured I'd get everybody in and talk about their decks, and I think you were the last one, so this should be posted up soon.
Cool. Well, GG's, man. Catch you next time.
GG, take it easy. All right, everybody, that was Nick. I just noticed his deck is roasted turkey. I don't know what that means, but We saw his deck in action. He stumbled a little bit. I think he mulliganed both games. And like I said, he's got a very even matchup against me where he can have draws like he had, and if he had applied even, like, let's say that was Voracious Hydra instead of Naeth the last turn, then, I'd probably lose that game. It can curve out. He's got insane top end. He can Anthem his board in, like he said, 5 or 6 different ways. Mirari's Wake, Tristani, the Immortal Sun, Felidar Retreat, Mikaeus. You can see there's even Anthems in the sideboard. There's, like, I think Venerated Loxodon. There's Banalish Marshal. It's like every single Anthem possible. And on top of that, he has the X spells, like he said, so he can take advantage of just having however much mana he has available. I think he misplayed a couple times, and that let me kind of get ahead. The Balaged recovery for Starnheim Unleashed lost him that game, on top of not killing Chandra. I don't know what the other options were. Maybe it didn't matter, but I think the fact that the Balaged recovery into Unleashed meant that he wasn't attacking me that turn, and if he unleashed the turn after, he wasn't attacking me the turn after either. That just gave me all the time I needed to win that game. And then in game 2, it's a little bit wonky because you don't usually have to do it on Arena, but assigning all the combat damage to one of my Blood Artists and not killing both of them might have changed how that panned out. But again, it's not something that really comes up, so you don't really think about it. I was fortunate enough he didn't draw Hushbringer or Shalai in either game, because those are just devastating for me. Scavenging Ooze even, like, it made me question things a little bit, but we got a little bit lucky. We drew our pieces and we Blood Artist people out in the final game. That's it. That's the Roto draft. Reminder, there might be one additional match after this. If you see a match number 9 against Lucas against Esper, then that's going to be a rematch, essentially, between the two of us, since we lost the recording of his footage, and I want to make sure everybody's represented here and their decks are represented. So there might be an additional one. There might not be, depending on whether we get to record an additional game or not, but I'm sure there will be. And we'll wrap it up in that video, because I'm like 95% positive we'll get an additional game in. But at any rate, that's going to do it for this one. As always, you can find links to our Discord community in the description below, where you can join up for our next Roto draft that will be starting as soon as all the matches are played out, and we're probably a good 75% of the way done with everybody's matches. You can sign up for the next Roto. You can come on Wednesdays and draft the unrestricted cube with us, which is the cube that this pool is being taken from. And on Sunday, you can come draft Peasant cube with us, which we might do a Roto draft of somewhere down the line. You can also subscribe to this channel for more content like this, and that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. One more match to go for the viewership. Thanks for watching. My name's Timothy with Jake Diver Gaming, and I will see you all next time.